Good day, good folks. You are listening to Talk That Keeps You Woke. And with your awakening, we hope that you will take in the information and knowledge we provide. So make sure you like and subscribe while you hop on this ride as we inform, persuade, entertain, and engage in discussion. Welcome to Pot Liquor Podcast, which is knowledge to feed your soul. I make up one half of Pot Liquor. I go by Dr. A, the inquisitive one, a great debater, Mr. Slow Talker, a rhetorician, and an all-around nice guy, and a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. The other half of Pot Liquor is my homie, my dear friend for more than 30 years, Kim Parker Jackson Esquire, the legal one, Mrs. Creativity, never obnoxious, the gifted one, a terrific lady, and a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Hey, welcome back.
Hey,
We're back again on Pot Liquor Podcast, and I want to say, what's up and what's going on with you? How was your past week?
good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. I am well. My week was good. How about you, Dr. A? How was your week?
School started. Trying to get back into the swing of things, so I'm still working with that. Kind of mess up my schedule of how I have to go to the gym and what times. Truck is in the shop, but you know, God is still good, and I have no complaints.
All
right. So those who know the show know we always start off with our wow for the week. And our words of wisdom this week comes from Rosa Parks. She says, God has always given me the strength to say what was right. To me, that just basically says she's not scared or afraid to speak truth to power. And she always probably believes if you're right, you standing with God. So that's my interpretation of her words of wisdom. What say you?
I agree wholeheartedly with everything that you said. The only thing that I would add is that what this reminds us is that God is what gives us the strength. Or if you believe in a higher power or whatever you may believe in, it's something that has to be inside of you that is bigger than yourself, which gives you the strength to speak up and to speak the truth, especially when you have to speak truth to power, because that is kind of intimidating at times to speak the truth to the powers that be. So you have to have the strength within you, and that strength has to come from somewhere. And Rosa Parks reminds us that her strength cometh from the Lord. And that is all right. Those are indeed words of wisdom.
And to that, I'll say amen. Amen. Amen.
And let us move on.
Okay, so we're going to jump right into what's going on in our world today. So our first story is a sad one. Dr. Antoinette, I think it's Candia Belly, who's an administrator at Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri, took her life. And when students got back to college, to the school, they were dressed in black, mourning her life and starting a protest saying they should get rid of the president, Dr. John Mosley. It says many students, and this is from Jefferson City, Missouri, many students at a historically black college in Missouri returned from Christmas break this week dressed in black, mourning the suicide of a beloved administrator who who had alleged bullying and racism by the school's white president. Known for keeping her office door open and greeting everyone at Lincoln University with a smile, Antoinette Bonnie Candia Bailey's death has spurred student protests and hashtag just for Bonnie t-shirts across the idyllic red brick campus in Jefferson City. While President Mosley agreed last week to go on paid leave pending a third-party investigation, many of the students, the school's 1,800 students and its alumni group are calling for his termination. A string of hashtag Fire Mosley social media posts have been questioned his qualifications, his treatment of the black administrator, and whether it was appropriate for a white man to lead an HBCU.
Mm,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
lot
right.
there.
So
It's
won't
a
you
lot
unpack
there.
it for the folks?
Well, first, I have to say, first of all, let's distinguish the fact that there are actually two HBCUs that are called Lincoln University.
Yes,
One is in Pennsylvania. The
yes.
one that is the subject of this story is actually in Missouri. So that's the one thing that we all have to point out, and something that was, I don't think I knew that. When I think of Lincoln University, I always think of the one in Pennsylvania. That's number one. Number two, I mean, this woman, she was 49 years old and she was the dean of students, right? Dean of student affairs.
Student
But
affairs, yes.
right. And it raises a
Which is
couple of
a
issues.
big position at a university.
Right, right, right. And it just raises a couple of issues, one of which is how do you feel about a white man being the president of an HBCU? That's a question. I mean, I'm not sure if that's relevant to this particular story as to why Dr. Candia Bailey was driven to the point where she felt in so much distress that she felt that her only way out was to die by suicide. Um, she obviously had mental health issues because she notified the university that she had depression and anxiety issues, and apparently she had disclosed this information to Dr. Mosley, who is the president of this university. And it seems as if, despite her mental health issues, she was still terminated for, I mean, we could go through the reasons why she was terminated according to the university and according to Dr. Mosley for, I mean, among other things, insubordination. Um, but I think
I mean,
it's problematic.
let's not like under sweep those allegations of insubordination in allowing an ineligible student to work, allowing an ineligible student to obtain a discounted housing rate, and failing to adhere to confidentiality requirements in a grievance matter filed by two of her subordinates.
Right. Okay. So these are the reasons why she was given for her termination. But I think it's problematic here because anytime you have a health issue or a mental health issue, you have to, the university, I think your employer is required to accommodate you. I mean, it's not it's not her fault that she had mental health issues and she raised these issues. And so they should have accommodated her for that. So the fact that she ended up,
But in what way
um,
did they not accommodate her? Do you know that? I'm asking.
I don't know that, but there's no information in the article stating that they did accommodate her
And
mental
there's
health
no
issues.
information that said they did not.
Right. So we don't know.
Right.
We don't know. But I would assume that if her mental health issues had been accommodated, perhaps she would not have died by suicide. I don't know that, but perhaps she would not have. And so now I think it's going to be that could be an issue, and her family could bring a wrongful death claim against the university for not accommodating her under the Americans with Disabilities Act, which requires you to accommodate someone's mental health issues or their physical health issues. That's the first issue. And then she felt what, for whatever reason, that she was bullied and that she experienced racism by this white president and his administration for whatever reason. I mean, I don't know that, but those issues are relevant here. And I think the other issue, though, is the appropriateness of him being the president of this university. Number one, being a white male. Number two, being a former head coach of a basketball team and the athletic director. You can question, well, are you qualified the same way that
he got his PhD in educational leadership, though.
I know, but that doesn't mean that you have the experience. A PhD is a PhD. That's the education.
Well, probably
experience is different. He got a PhD in educational leadership, and yet he was a basketball coach and an athletic director. So
we don't know when he inquired his an athletic director is a huge position at a university. So I don't want to undercut that.
We're not undercutting that, right, but it is different from what the role of the president.
It's still experience in leadership, though.
Well, I'm going to defer to the people who are actually involved with the university. And if the students and the alumni felt that he wasn't qualified, then I would tend to defer to their opinion.
Okay. You have the right to do that. I'm just saying, like, your first question, let's answer. Should a white person...
It's not the right to do it. It's like
hold on. Let's go back to your... Let's go common sense, you say?
Yeah, it's common sense because again, the students have had to go to school have had to attend a school under the leadership of this particular president. And the alumni who are presumably involved in the everyday goings on of the university would have superior knowledge to me or you about what it is like to have to navigate through a university that has this man at the helm and in a leadership position, the president of the university. So they would know because they have that experience of attending the school day to day under his leadership.
I don't know if we're going down. Can I get a word in edgewise? We're going down a different road. If they terminate him, it should be for the things he said about Dr. Antoinette Candia Bailey, like making jokes about mental health issues. Yeah, that is right for termination. Going into his experience, if we have it or not, we don't really have his background experience. I'm saying being an athletic director it's a lot dealing with leadership here because you're dealing with not just student athletes, you're dealing with a lot of different things at the university. And you're also working with the top administrative people. Let's talk about the first question you raised.
So you're saying that
hold on. Let me finish. The first question you raised was, should a white man be president at a HBCU? And I'm saying, why not? Do you know that most of HBCUs were founded by white folks?
Yes.
Right.
And funded and started because
and funded. Yeah.
They'd rather spend that money so you can be separate from them than to. Okay, go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, if we say, I just try to put it on, if we say he can't be president of a historically black institution, are we also saying that black folks can't be president of a PWI? Is that the same?
I don't think anybody said that white folks can't be the president of an HBCU. I simply raised the question of whether we think it's appropriate, whether we think it's we didn't say you can't.
Okay.
Obviously he did, and
Well, wait,
obviously
wait, 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 wait.
people
Then
have in the past.
let's go on the word appropriate. Is it inappropriate for a black person to be president of a PWI?
No, it's not inappropriate, but it's rare. It's rare.
I mean, there are several black
Okay,
presidents
this
at,
is okay. Here's the thing.
at PWI.
This is how I would state it. Okay, attending a PWI versus let's just focus on a black student. A black student attending a PWI is a different experience from a black student attending an HBCU. Now we all know that obviously black students are qualified to attend many
Any
diverse
institution.
any institution in the country. But the fact of the matter is that we have choices, presumably. We have choices. So if you choose to go to an HBCU for specific reasons, and it's going to be different for every student, but I would submit that one reason why black student, I think this could probably be true among any black student who chooses to go to an HBCU. One of those reasons is you want a unique experience in an environment that is uniquely designed to serve the needs of a black student. And I believe that one could argue that a black president is in a unique position to understand what those needs are. That's just the bottom line, and that's just a fact.
Do you think
That's my
white
opinion.
people are in a unique position to be the president of a PWI?
No,
It don't make
no,
sense then.
no, because if
It-
you're in a majority white country, then that's going to be the default. Your needs are going to be met as a default.
what do you mean your needs are going to be met as a default?
What I mean by that is a black student going to a white university is not necessarily going to have their unique needs met, because it's not designed for you to have your needs met. Whereas an HBCU was designed specifically to educate black students. Although everyone is welcome, that's what the university was designed to do, to address the specific. Now, okay, let's start here.
So do you think white
do you
people
agree that black students have unique um, unique needs and requirements for their education? Is it unique? Like, do we?
That's a good question.
I think that's where we have to start.
I don't think when it comes to academics, I think HBCUs are culturally more tapped in to African American students
Right.
than PWIs.
Right. So
Right.
do you
I
think
think
that
the university, when black students go to a black university, the majority of time, I'm not going to say for all black students, but the majority of time, that their cultural needs are met and they don't have to go about creating spaces like black students have to create black cultural spaces at PWIs?
exactly? Okay. So assuming that that is true, do you think a black president would have superior knowledge, being a black person and understanding the experience of black people in America, having lived through those experiences themselves? Do you think they would be uniquely equipped to address the needs of the students versus a white person? That's really just the bottom line. And
Okay,
that's the
so what
point that
I
I'm
would
trying to
say
make.
is we're narrowing it down too much. What I would agree that most
What
African
do you mean I'm
Americans,
narrowing it down to
let me
I don't
explain
understand.
it. I'll explain it.
Okay.
Most I would say most African American people uh culturally equipped to handle their culture, their in group more than an outsider is. I would say most, not all. I would say most, right? But just because you're the president of a university doesn't mean everything you says goes. It's not like a white person couldn't lead a HBCU. White folks work at HBCUs. I went to Morgan. I had professors at HBCU. You know, you in front of black folks, and they tailored their syllabus and syllabi to, uh, you know, the cultural needs or the cultural wants, uh, the cultural uniqueness of African American students.
Right.
So when anybody is the president of an institution, like if I'm the president of a predominantly Hispanic institution, I'm not going there trying to give them my cultural needs. I'm trying to suit their cultural needs, right?
Right.
I think that folks are able to. Now, if you say better, I'm not going to argue with that, but I don't think that that prevents. And I wonder how he went from these other positions to the president of the university. He must have been well, I don't know, but it seems like he probably was a well-liked individual. If you're a white person and they hiring you at that job and you already worked at different areas on campus, it seems like you were well liked, right? Because I don't think they would put you in there if you was a disgruntled or a mean individual. But I think he has a right to be terminated because of the stuff he was joking about with his mental health. About her mental health. I think that's grounds for termination. That's immaturity. That's insensitive, and you don't need anybody at the helm that way. And that's just him as a person. If an African American person did the same thing, I would let them go too. So I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that's the grounds for him to go.
No, I'm not saying that's the ground. I'm just saying this story just raises that issue. It just kind of, I mean, it's so obvious, you have a white president and then this black woman that is working in his administration ends up dying by suicide. It's just raises the question. That's all.
Yeah,
So
I think this is unfortunate. I wish that if there were warning signs, somebody should have, reached out to her. This termination, I don't think what she did, those infractions are worth terminations. They might be worth a suspension or punishment, but to fire somebody, I mean, unless there's other things we don't know about. And this was the straw that broke the camel's back. But it's unfortunately that Dr. Candia Bailey is no longer with us because she seemed like she was adored at the university.
yes, they said that she was that the president alluded to her being an angry black woman. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And she described that as a stereotype that has demoralized black women for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just got worse when she was asking for time off through the Family Medical Leave Act to deal with her severe depression and anxiety.
And
So I would
that could have her on edge.
right. And that's what I'm saying could possibly subject the university to um liability for her wrongful death.
Yeah.
Possibly. He apparently she couldn't even get the time off under the act because of her condition. So
Yeah, we're gonna have to follow this closely to see what happens with this situation.
And let us move on.
But I heard that some people don't like the way
All right. So we have another situation that's kind of creepy and wrong here. Ben Crump, civil rights attorney, is calling for a federal investigation of unmarked graves in the death of 200, I believe, 15 people behind a jail in Mississippi. Like, no one knew where these folks were. Like, they were like missing. And he's saying, why wasn't these cases like adjudicated? Why wasn't there an investigation to see what happened? It seems like these folks were just put to death and buried behind the jail.
they called it
And
a pauper's grave.
a
Yeah.
pauper's grave. That's a poor grave, because a pauper is a poor person, right?
Right. And that's just like I think they dig one huge hole and just dump all the bodies in there, I think.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think they all died at the same time. So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
but I think they just dug holes back there and put them there with no name. So that's suspicious right
Okay.
there.
And no
Um,
markers or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, right. No, like crosses or anything like that. It's just ditches. And then there was no, I don't believe there was any notification notifying of the next of kin. This is horrible, really, what happened. You imagine, like, a relative of yours is just missing.
Right.
You don't
Right.
know where they did, what happened. Did they fall off? And then the next thing you know, like 25 years later, you found out they've been dead, buried behind this jail in Mississippi. Incredible.
Yes. This is really incredible. I was curious because I don't think they addressed this, but how was this discovered? Do you know? Like, was somebody just out there mowing the lawn and saw, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
I don't think they said it in the article, but
yeah,
that was
I
my
would
first
think
question.
somebody said something like, there's bodies behind the prison. You know what I mean?
Like, how would they, I'm like, how would they know? But I mean, I think Ben Crump and everybody who's a proponent of this investigation um is right for for calling for it and for demanding it, because it's like, what kind of country do we live in where this is possible, where you just basically dispose of people with no notification to somebody, knew that these people had relatives and no notification to the relatives, and that you could just do this without even notifying the state. Like, what the heck is going on in Mississippi? It's like, first the water, and now people come up missing and buried in a pauper's grave, come to find out. So it's just inhumane and uncivilized to me. And although there were Black, white, and Hispanic people among these people that were buried in this pauper's grave, a majority of them are Black.
Yeah, that's what the article said.
Right.
So this one too, we're gonna have to follow closely. We're gonna have to find out what really was going on with the decision to put these people in unmarked graves behind the jail. That seems suspicious to me.
Right. And this is what was the most shocking to me in this article. It said the chief of the Jackson Police Department, Joseph Wade, has instituted a new death notification policy that would give relatives information about their deaths and the cause. You mean to tell me that there was no death notification policy in this state? What? That is insane. You know what I mean? Like every state has like a coroner's office, and you know what I mean, where they would anytime someone dies, they have to come out and do a report and all that. They don't have that in the state of Mississippi. What? That's just crazy to me.
What in the cotton picking moves? Yeah, I don't understand that either. But this is another case that we have to follow closely to see if justice is going to be done or is just going to be swept under the rug.
Yeah, they're going to have to exhume all of these bodies.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
That's
stay
crazy.
tuned for that.
And let us move on.
Okay, so Fani Willis claims special prosecutor's wife is trying to derail the Trump case. So I'm gonna let my partner really talk about this, and then I'm going to chime in because we had some interesting discussion surrounding this topic.
Well, I think by this time, everybody knows that Fani Willis is the prosecutor in Georgia that is bringing the claim against Donald Trump for when everybody heard the tape so far where so far everybody's probably heard the tape by now, where he's basically caught on tape asking for more votes during the presidential election in Georgia. He was trying to win Georgia, so he called and they got him on tape asking them to find a few thousand more votes so he could try to, win Georgia for the presidential race back in what was it? I don't remember. But anyway, so she's bringing the claim against him. She's 2020. She's prosecuting him for that. And as part of that prosecution, she was tasked with hiring special prosecutors to assist in the prosecution. One of these prosecutors, his name is Mr. Nathan Wade.
Yeah.
And
allegedly,
Trump's co-defendant was the one, Mr. Roman. Trump's co-defendant, Mr. Roman, was the one who first raised this issue that Fani Willis is allegedly having an affair with this special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, that she hired among a couple of other special prosecutors in this case. Now, Nathan Wade, who happens to be Black, has been paid so far, since he's been working on this case, he's been paid a total of $654,000. So he is in the process, Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor that Fani Willis hired to prosecute Trump, is in the midst of a divorce. And now his current wife, who he's in the process of divorcing, is now trying to subpoena Fani Willis in her divorce proceeding because she's trying to negotiate a settlement and she's basically trying to get after the money. So Fani Willis is crying foul and she's saying, this is nothing more than an attempt to derail my prosecution. I don't know if she is speculating that
what would be the
Trump and his attorney.
What would be the implications, or what are they trying to imply, Mr. Roman? What is he trying to imply with, even if Fani Willis and Nathan Wade was having an affair or dating? each other.
Well,
What is
first of
he trying
all,
to
you have
imply?
okay. First of all, you can get this case possibly dismissed based on a conflict of interest. So that's why I'm like, why, Fani? Why did you have to do this? Like, assuming that the allegations are true, number one. And
KRS
it's looking
One
like it could
said,
be true.
KRS One,
Well,
one of my favorite songs he made was "Love's Gonna Get You." Love's gonna get you. And so that's what it
and
is.
this
So you're
just might,
saying that to me, is there a difference in hiring your sister to be a special prosecutor if she's a prosecutor and she's good? I'm trying to find out the implication. Like, I'm trying to find out why is the apparent or alleged romantic relationship between the both of them uh why is that a
like,
bad situation, or why is that unethical, or why is it wrong? I mean, I might be naive, but I'm asking you.
that I mean, that is what Trump's attorneys are going to have to argue if they. But see, here's the thing: you don't. It may not end up being an actual problem, but you don't want to have these distractions in this prosecution. You don't want to give them anything to try to hang their hats on in their defense.
Why
This is
wouldn't they
what you
just
call
state it
this
in
is
the
what you
beginning?
call this is what you call a zealous defense. You're going to grab at straws and make every argument you could possibly make. And when you're dealing with Donald Trump, you don't want to give him anything.
But
So it's
that's what
like
I'm
you want
trying to say. What are they giving him? Like, what can Donald Trump's side state?
that
Like,
this is a
is it
conflict of interest.
impropriety? How is it a conflict of interest?
It's a
You
conflict of
you're
interest
gonna you're gonna
because
pick a
you're
special prosecutor regardless, right? Does it have to be someone neutral? Like, yo, my brother is the best prosecutor in the state of Georgia. I'm gonna pick him. This is my
but what I'm
boo.
saying to you is you're raising legitimate questions, but why if you're
I
Fani
go through
Willis,
this.
right, if you're Fani Willis, why put yourself in a situation where these arguments can be made and these questions can be asked, or we have to deal with these issues? Now you've already derailed your prosecution because you're dealing with these stupid side issues when we need to be laser focused.
What does I'm just trying to say, like, what does that have to do with the case? One thing has nothing to do with the other, unless because they brought up the
You're
600.
missing the point because now, for one thing, it's drawing it out.
Right,
We need this prosecution and conviction as soon as possible
right.
because we don't want him in the White House. So now you're drawing out, you're giving them another legal argument to make to draw this case out
But that's
to
what I'm
to
y'all still not.
to
I mean, I'll say it again. What is the legal argument? Is it they mentioned the money, so it seems like it was a misappropriation of funds, but it's not. Like, he billed them and they took it. Is it unethical? Like, I'm trying to understand what they're trying to do with this. I understand why the ex-wife is doing what she's doing. She's basically saying, just come forth, admit that you having an affair, and that my husband billed the state for $654,000 and he got paid. So when the divorce is final, I'll get some of that $654,000.
this is the point. This all you need to know is that there an order came down from the Georgia Superior Court judge Scott McAfee ordering a February 15th court hearing into allegations of a secret romance between Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. So now we're waiting to February 15th for a hearing on this issue that has arguably nothing to do with Donald Trump
But the election isn't until November, So what's the delay? February 15th is right around the corner. It's like 4 weeks away. They're going to do it. What are they going to? It's two things going on here. If
I
I'm
think
if
you're
I'm
missing the point.
correct, if I'm correct, one is the wife has an issue. The other one is Donald Trump's defense attorneys having an issue with it. Excuse me. I understand the wife's issue, and I see her argument, and I see her strategy. I don't see what Trump's strategy is. What is that? Them having a relationship.
Okay, so Roman. Okay,
Right.
I told you I told you Trump's co-defendant is the one that raised this argument, right?
Yeah.
So they want the court, as I said, to immediately dismiss the charges and disqualify Fani Willis from continuing to pursue the case against Donald Trump and those accused alongside him. Now,
Makes
this
no
is the
sense.
thing, like judges, they get nervous over stuff like this because they can end up being reversed on appeal for stupid stuff like this. So that's what I'm saying. Like this could actually work.
What Trump like?
So they will have to dismiss the case and start from scratch. It's just delay tactics. Why give him that?
Hold on. I understand what you're saying. I'm still trying to get to it. It seems like they're making a case stronger that you're not allowed to have, because they're calling it secret, that you're not allowed, like they're hiding it. Because to me, I would say to Fani Willis, why did you hide it? I hired an individual that I'm involved with, period.
Oh, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing he's arguing. He's arguing Trump's co-defendant and Trump's attorneys are arguing that Fani Willis is enriching herself.
Right. See, I understand that.
She enriched herself through the ongoing relationship with the special prosecutor Nathan Wade, whom she hired in 2021.
Kickbacks.
Right. So basically, he's been paid $654,000 as a special prosecutor, and in turn, he's using some of that money to take her on trips and romance her and take her out to dinner. And so, therefore,
wait. Did they say that?
That's what they're doing. That's what they're alleging.
They're alleging that he used the money to take her on trips.
Right.
Have they been on trips? They proved that.
This is all a part of the allegations. They're allegations.
Okay. I didn't read that part of it. I thought that what could have been wrong is paying the $654 with her saying to him, like, you're going to give me some of that money, right? Now, that's wrong. I don't even think, he can do whatever he wants with the money. But now they're trying to say that the money that he's being paid, he shouldn't be paid that. That's what it sounds like. Because I don't care what you do.
That's not the allegation.
No, but that's what they're trying to imply. That's what they're implying. Like you hired him so he can make a certain amount of money so y'all could do things, right? All that money that he's making, he shouldn't be making. You're paying him this money because you have a relationship with him. I don't even know if she has anything to do with paying. Like, is she in charge?
I think you're reading that into it. Nobody said he shouldn't be paid the money. They're just saying that.
And if he's paid the money and he's allowed to make that money, he can do whatever he wants with that money.
Right, but
that's what I'm saying. Why are they hiding the relationship? That's fishy to me. Like, I would just come out.
What do you mean they not? Why are you saying they hiding the relationship?
Because they say it's a secret romance. She's not copping to dating him. Did she say she was involved with Nathan Wade?
That's going to be their burden to prove that.
Okay, but why?
So she's not going to come out and help them make their argument by saying, "Okay, you got me. I'm dating him."
But that's what I'm trying to ask you. What is wrong with her dating him? I don't get that. What is wrong?
Okay, okay, let me try to say it another way because I've already said it a couple of times. Let me just try to rephrase what I'm saying.
I understand the mess. So you're going to talk about you causing the mess, but that's not illegal. Causing the mess is not illegal. They didn't do
What's your
anything
question?
illegal. Huh?
What is your question?
My question is, first of all, why didn't she just come out and say, when I'm hiring this, full transparency, I'm in a relationship with this gentleman?
Because first of all, we don't know the chronology of it. We don't know if they started dating before she hired him or after she hired him. We don't know that. She could have hired him and not known him and then gotten to know him and started liking him. I don't know.
True. That's true.
That's number one. What's your next question? We're going to try to address them one at a time.
I'm just trying to say, I don't see, unless somebody, it seems
it doesn't happen. That's what you don't.
like
okay, maybe this is what you're not getting. Then maybe this is what you're
like it's unethical.
Right. It doesn't have to be illegal for it to derail this prosecution. That's the bottom line. They're trying to derail the prosecution. And this is what happened. This is a zealous defense. This is
what allegations have to be made.
I know, but you take every argument you can take to win this case. And that's what they're doing. So my thing is don't give it to them. So yeah, this could end up in a dismissal.
If it ends up in the dismissal, they did something wrong. That relationship is wrong. Period. It is wrong. Or at least
you see how they made that argument that it's a conflict of interest because you hired this guy. Now somebody sat down and figured this argument out. This is what I'm telling you. This is a conflict of interest because you, Fani Willis, took state money. You hired this man. You paid him over $654,000 for his work. You're having a romantic relationship with him. And he's taking some of that money and he's taking you on fancy trips. And so therefore, you are being unethical.
That's the misappropriation of funds. That's what they're trying to say. You misappropriating funds because you made the hire to somebody you're romantically involved with.
Nobody said, well, they didn't say that in this article.
No, I know they didn't say it in the article, but that's to me what they're alleging. Like you hired him.
They saying instead of you doing what you were hired to do as a state prosecutor, you are enriching yourself with state funds.
But hiring special prosecutors.
Right. And it's a very convoluted, tenuous argument, but it is an argument that they are making, and you are losing focus on the goal because of your actions, allegedly, because this is all.
I don't know if she losing focus. I think her response to
we're sitting up here talking about this instead of talking about Donald Trump being convicted of trying to steal an election.
But she's going more after his wife than Roman. Right,
because now she's put in a position where she has to make every argument available to her.
Okay,
that's how this works.
We're gonna follow this one closely too, because this one was the most interesting one to me.
And let us move on.
All right, so to our fourth story. This is also an interesting one. Dylan Stone Miller, aka the sperm donor. So Mr. Miller, apparently, I don't know how old he is now, but between the ages of 22 and 25, he donated 400. He donated his sperm 400 times. He got $100 a piece over those 3 years for that donation, or those 4 years for that donation, which led him to make $40,000 in those 4 years. He said he did it for financial reasons, to pay bills, to pay tuition while he was a collegiate student. One of the ladies that was a recipient of his donation contacted him. Come to find out, they started a Facebook page with all the people who were recipients of Stone Miller. I think they found quite a bit of people. Now he's saying he wants to meet all the kids, which they're saying 97. He believes it to be 250. He wants to meet all of them. What say you about that? Is that
So he actually took time off from his regular job to travel across the country and around the world because these
these kids
children of
everywhere?
his are in 6 countries around the
Well, he
world.
making a good living as an engineer, I believe.
Yeah, so I guess he can afford it, but
My
well, I
question is,
mean,
what do you think about that?
I think it's a little bit crazy. I think that at the time that he made the decision to donate his sperm to get the money when he was between the ages of 20 and 25, his brain was not fully formed and he made a decision that I think
Um,
now he's like, I may have bitten off a little more than I can chew here. Because I think when he made the decision, he was just thinking about the money he needed at the time. And now that he's older, and he's learned that he actually has these children out in the world, it seems to me as if he wants to make a connection with them. And he talked about how when he met up with a couple of them, it was really difficult for him to leave them because they all kind of wanted to know, well, when am I going to see you again? And I feel like he is making connections with these children that he had a part in creating. And I think in hindsight, um, he may have made a different, knowing what he knows now, he may have made a different decision if he could go back. Because I think what he's discovering is that it is impossible for him to maintain a real connection with all of these children. It's just logistically impossible because you can't be in all of those places around the world at the same time. And even he talked about the
don't tell that to Nick
difficulty
Cannon.
of even he talked about the difficulty of having to leave these children once he met them. And I think he's really enjoying the connection that he's having with them. What do you think?
I wouldn't have donated in the first place. Maybe to like,
Why? Because you said you actually had this option.
I mean, we all in college had them. They had ads going around like, people want to get pregnant.
But talk about why you specifically decided that this is
I
not
didn't want
something that
I didn't want kids that I created running around the country that I didn't know.
Okay, why not?
Because then I just having somebody in the world coming from the community that I'm coming from that was fatherless, or in some cases, sometimes, same gender partners are having kids that way.
Also,
It's like the brat just
it could be a heterosexual couple that just could not
yeah, they can't
um
conceive, yeah.
right. So they won't be fatherless. They'll
If
have a
I
father.
know them if I know them, that's different. I'm just talking about from me, like, I'm not being the dad. Like, my biology is running around in a child. My DNA is running around in a child that I don't know. I never wanted that.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question. So are you saying that if you had a biological child, you would want to have a connection with that child as opposed to
Yes, that's
knowing
why
that
I
that child
wouldn't.
is here and you don't have a connection?
Right.
Okay.
That's why I wouldn't donate sperm.
Okay.
That's my
See, so
reason.
that's kind of what I think I'm saying is that I don't think that this particular sperm donor realized that that is how he would feel, because I think that that's how he feels now. Like, I want a connection with these children of mine that I
I
had a
think the first
biological
lady
partner.
shouldn't have reached out to him. I think she should have stayed with the agreement.
And the agreement was you don't connect the father until the child is
Yeah, you
18
don't.
years old.
Well, you don't. I would say don't connect the father at all. I think you tell the child, the situation, and you could tell her why you did so. You know,
So you don't think the child has a right to meet their sperm donor if they want to?
that's a touchy situation because the sperm donor signed the agreement, and if he doesn't want to, because then all of a sudden there might be expectations.
But
I
here's
mean,
the thing though.
for health reasons, yes. That's what I'm saying. Then he donates, and I know you say is in 6 different countries. There's 97, people. God forbid it is 250. 6 in the 250. It's more than 80 per country, right? So that's a lot of kids that you got running around, and there could be a chance that they connect with one another. And then if they have kids, then it's going to be messed up.
Okay, but you said that the first woman should not have contacted him and she should have abided by the agreement. But he didn't have to respond to her reaching out to him. He voluntarily responded.
That's true too.
Yeah,
But if she wouldn't have reached out, he wouldn't have, thought about it.
right.
Now he says he
Yeah.
saw the Facebook page and all these kids on there that's his. Well, that's a part of his recipients of his donation. Cause you're not a dad, dude. Like that's not a fatherly thing to me. Like this should be at least, and I'm not talking about rape victims or anything like that. Please forgive me, but I'm talking about usually if there's a clean process of creating children like you did, you're doing it with somebody at the time that you love or really really like enough to share your your beauty and your body with that
Mhm.
individual. So yeah. But hey,
Hmm. He was a very generous
yeah,
donor.
to each his own.
And let us move on.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Hey, so now we're going to play Am I Tripping? Am I Tripping game created by Reese Colbert. You can get it at amitrippinggame.com. These are fun questions that you can ask you and your friends can talk about at the party at your house. Ready, Dr. A?
Let's go.
Okay, I'm picking randomly from the middle of the deck. My husband and I have been happily married for 5 years. He has a 14-year-old from a prior relationship, and his ex petitioned the court for 14 years of back child support despite his being a present dad. I told him that as much as I love him, there ain't no way in hell I'm letting my income factor into her fraudulent back child support scheme. I suggested that we get divorced on paper only to protect my assets, but he said if I filed for divorce, our relationship would be over for real. Am I tripping?
Yes, you are tripping.
Girl, you tripping. That's too much. That's
Yeah,
really
you're tripping. If he knew he had the baby for 14 years and he didn't pay, yeah, you back pay. I don't like when you don't know you had a kid and then somebody brings it to you later and says you have a kid and you
Mhm.
have to pay back pay. I would have been paying the whole time. You
Yeah.
know, I probably would have tried to get with the young lady, but then because this happened to my boy, a good friend of mine.
Mhm.
Mother didn't say anything to him until the child was 7 years old. So he
Mhm.
was 7 years in the rear.
Okay, so then he had
He
to
had to pay for that, and he's still
Mhm.
paying.
Right. So if he was
It was 7
married,
years or 14 years. It was one of the two.
so that's the thing. So if he's married,
He is married.
Okay, so now the court is going to consider their joint income in determining how much he's got to pay.
They don't do that though with him. It's only his income. I don't know how it works because it's usually what you just said.
You're right.
Right. But it's not based on her income, it's based on his. I don't know. He's in New York. I'm not saying New York laws are different because I've heard people in New York get hit up. Um, but
Well,
I just think that's horrible. I don't think that the woman or the man should have to bear the responsibility. If
and,
say for
and
instance, if you go into a relationship with a woman who has a kid that's being raised by her baby's dad, I don't think any of my money should have to go into it. Now, if I'm helping my wife do that, then that's fine. But you shouldn't make me. I bear no responsibility with that. Like that's a marriage law right there that I don't dig. I
well,
don't.
this is why in this scenario, this woman is willing to actually get a divorce on paper. But see, I don't even know what divorce on paper means, because if you say, okay, we just gonna get a legal divorce, but we gonna still live together, the court ain't gonna go for that. The court find out y'all living together. It's like it's clear you're trying to avoid having to get your income factored into this
Well, if
equation.
you can do
That's
that, do that,
fraudulent.
huh? That's what.
Fraudulent. The
That's
court is
not
probably
fraudulent.
that's just like if you file for bankruptcy and then you try to take your money and give it to somebody to
The,
hold for you so it won't
the
be
me
take
me
you
me
gotta
me me and my partner never were married. We lived together 12 years. They can't come after my money if she had to pay child support to her baby's father. They couldn't do that.
I know, because y'all not married.
Right, but they're not married anymore either. They're divorced.
The
When I
bottom
leave a
line
divorce,
is
I don't got to pay for anybody else's kids.
I'm gonna say she tripping if she's just gonna get a divorce just to try to avoid paying this money.
To me, I
It
would
ain't
say
worth
she tripping too, but then you know what I'm saying? It depends on how much money it is.
it.
Cause
I guess.
say for instance, and y'all, well, I ain't gonna put y'all business out there. Say for instance, there were a couple making a lot of money, and they looking at the both of their income and feel like the child should be living at the level of both of them. Oh
Yeah.
hell no. Oh hell no. No way. Come on now. That,
Okay.
that's like if the big R was paying child support and all of a sudden they was taking $500 from your check.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If that wouldn't bother you,
I'm not gonna get a divorce behind it.
so you just gonna let them take the money.
I'm
That's
gonna
6 G's a
I will
year. They
I will
take
pursue any legal recourse I have to avoid it, but I'm not gonna get a divorce.
But what if the court says
Only way I would get a divorce is if this was a surprise child that I didn't know about. Like,
but then you leaving him for other reasons though? But see, that's what I'm saying. And when you leave, like you don't have to pay for his kids if you leave. So she doing the right thing.
no, but she knew about this child because she knows that her husband was present in the child's life the whole 14 years. Like,
Okay, but then to me, what the lady's doing is not fraudulent. She trying to get you on back pay, unless she said to him, "I won't do that to you," but then she changed her mind for some reason. I'm
but
not
see,
letting
when she
somebody
says
like
he's
that get
present,
away.
I'm assuming that he's present means he's providing the financial support as well. And
What do you
hopefully
mean? He's giving the wife his money, her money back, because they're gonna siphon her check too. Boom, the $500 is gone. So you saying he just gonna transfer the $500 to his wife?
no, I'm saying the wife is saying that the husband was present in the child's life. So she's saying, I know that my husband has been present in this child's life for 14 years. So why is this woman trying to
Was he
get him up with
financially
this child
present?
support? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It implies that she's saying he has been financially supportive as well. So
You
this
need,
woman is being fraudulent by now saying, "Oh, I'm gonna need that
you need
child support."
receipts. You need receipts. She could still be fraudulent, but that's why I say you need receipts.
Oh yeah, if he kept all his receipts, he should be good.
That's what I would say. I would give the lady a credit card, and every month I'll dump that money on. They could take that money and put it on there. But they don't do that. They try to take it right out your check. I would prefer them take it out the check and put it on a credit card so I could see the whatever you doing with the car. It just proof that you got the money.
So I think we both agree she tripping, right?
On to the next one.
It's got to be a okay. Okay. I recognize a kid as the person stealing a package in a video posted on the Ring Neighbors app. The owner made it clear they would press charges against the thief, so I did not expose the kid's identity. I don't condone the kid stealing, but I have a bigger issue with locking kids up over an Amazon delivery. Am I tripping? Snitches
No,
get
you're not
stitches.
tripping. This should be some restitution though. Like the kid should give it back. And I would go to the kid and be like, if you got the gift, give it back. You know, you can give it back through somebody else. And if you're not going to give it back, yeah, you that's the punishment. You can't just say, oh, he just took your thing. That's okay. No. I'm sorry. You
So
gotta
you
be
saying she's wrong? She should expose the kid's identity? She said, I did.
I
I did.
think if the kid gives back the package, right? And say it was used a little bit or whatever, but it wasn't like messed up. Say it was a PlayStation. They brought their son. Give the PlayStation back. And then no, he shouldn't get locked up. Or buy them another PlayStation.
So
Whatever.
is she
But
tripping for
if she
not?
doesn't
Is
do
she
that,
tripping for not exposing the kid's identity?
I don't think she was tripping, but she's tripping if she didn't expose the identity and the kid didn't return the package. Then yeah, you tripping. Because if you steal my shit, I want you to somebody to come and say, "Hey, it was a kid up the block that took it." See, we one thing about we have proponents, and my friend she works in a juvenile place in D.C. She just saw her. December 7th is her birthday, right? That's the one I stay with in New York. She feels the same way. But what I'm saying, if these kids did wrong, there's punishment. I don't want to lock a kid up because he took an Amazon package. All right, we don't know the value of the Amazon package. And then, so what do we do with them? Just be like, ah.
Okay, let me ask you this. So if she goes to the kid and says, listen, I saw you on the video. I know it's you. You need to return the package. If you return the package, I won't. You need to return the package.
Yeah.
And let's say if the kid
give it to me
says,
and I'll return it.
so if the kid says, no, I'm not going to return it.
I would say to him, you got a good pair of sneakers? Because you better start to run.
Because then you're going to disclose his identity.
Yeah, I'm gonna disclose him. That's not cool. That's not fair.
So you think she tripping for not disclosing his identity?
I had a disclaimer with it, and whether you like it or not, I get it.
Shante, Dr. A, listen.
If there's no restitution, she tripping.
No sense, because if he returned the package, he's disclosing his own identity.
I told you that I would tell him to give it to me and I'll return it. Here it is. Period.
So if he doesn't give it to you,
what did Wyclef say?
Then you're gonna say, I know who did it.
Can someone please call 911?
You's a snitch. Snitches get stitches, you snitch. You's a snitch. If you snitch on a child, you're a snitch. I don't think she
Wait,
tripping.
wait. So, see, this is how I look at things from all angles. I put myself in it. You ordered something, right, from Amazon that cost $2,000,
Mm-hmm.
and this Negro snatches it and
Mm-hmm.
takes it.
Mm-hmm.
You, my friend, and you see it's on video, niglet. You gonna tell me you're not gonna say, hey, you need to return that. And if they don't return, say, okay, I gotta turn you in. I don't care. You stole it. Like we giving him a pass. Well, no, you're not innocent. You took something that's not yours. Period. Now, if you a little kid, like 5 or 6 years old, no. But if you 15, 16 years old, yeah, bye.
I might. Okay, so if they stole your package and I tell you, Dr. A, I know who stole your package. If he gives it back to you, are you gonna press charges?
No.
Well, see, then I would tell you. I'm
No,
not
I
telling
wouldn't.
this. I'm not telling the
I'm
person
not
in this
trying to
scenario.
put the guy in jail. I'm not.
I'm
But
not telling. That's why I'm not telling this owner because he's gonna get the child locked up. That's
but
why I'm
I
not
took
telling him. But I'm gonna tell you because I know you're not gonna get the kid
wait.
locked up.
What I said to you is I had a disclaimer. I would try to get the package back and return it to the owner. I would say, look, somebody took it. I got it back. Here it is.
He might
Boom.
get you locked up.
But
He might be
I,
like, "How you got it? You stole it." Okay, I'm
no,
calling
I know who
911
took
on
it.
you.
I know who took it, but I'm not trying to get this individual in trouble. And if she called the police, I'll tell the police the same thing. It was an innocent person that took it. They returned it back. What they did is
Wait a
restitution. I'm
minute.
leaving it alone.
How's an innocent person a thief? What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying like
You
he's
said
not
it was
innocent.
an innocent
I meant
person that
like
took it.
innocent kid. Like he's an innocent kid, not innocent for the infraction. That's what I
Okay.
meant.
Okay.
Like he's a kid that doesn't do any harm, but you got to learn, and his parents should punish him for that.
Okay. You want to do one more?
Yeah, we always do 3.
Okay. I hate for my food to come out from the kitchen at a restaurant and not be piping hot. That is me. So I instruct the waiter to bring my food out as soon as it is ready. I won't wait for everyone else's food to come if it means letting my food get lukewarm. Am I tripping? No, you ain't tripping because I
You
can't
tripping.
stand. That's my number one pet peeve when
You tripping.
eating out. I can't, my food
You
got to
know
be
what
hot.
you know if it ain't hot, what do you tell them?
If it's not hot, I don't complain. I just
You
don't.
don't tell them to go back and reheat it.
I'm not going back there no more. No.
Oh, okay. Well, that ain't your number one pet peeve because your
That's
number
why I
one
don't
pet.
like eating out. That's why I don't like eating out. But I probably am not gonna send the food back. It depends on what it is. If it's obviously, if it's some
You don't
soup
like
and the
eating out.
soup, if it's soup and the soup lukewarm, I'm sending that, but I'm not eating no
Yeah,
gazpacho.
and
I
there's
want
nothing.
soup.
Look, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I would do, but I'm not gonna go out and start eating at the table and everybody else don't have their food.
I'd rather do that. I'm gonna tell you personally, I'd rather do that than have my food be lukewarm. Number one. Number two, I'm a slow eater, so I'm gonna still be eating when everybody else get their food too.
You tripping? That's what I was.
So you tripping because you're gonna be like,
You
Mr. Waiter,
sitting up
bring
there.
my food out now
I said
because
this
I ain't
chick
got
up here.
time to be waiting on him because I want
I'll
my
be
food
like,
out.
I ain't praying over your food now. To me, the waiters and the waitress should know to bring all the food out at the same
You
time.
would think, right?
Well, I mean, I never had that happen to me. Well, yeah, one time I did. They forgot my order.
So so if I go out to dinner with you and I told the waiter, hey, soon as my food is done, bring it out. Don't wait for Dr. A's food to be ready first, because that's gonna mean my food gonna be lukewarm, and I don't want it lukewarm. I
But
want it hot.
I'll be okay with that because I'm your friend and I know you. You supposed to be able to do comfortable things around people you comfortable with. But if
Right,
you going out, like I'm thinking you going out, say it's your Delta group, right? Or it's your business associate, your colleagues at work, whomever. It's people you know, but not people who you dine with or call every day. You gonna
right.
do that? I'm sorry, y'all. I have to eat my food hot. So that's why I have to put this request in. I advise y'all to do the same because when my food come out and it's steaming, I like to eat my food when I have to go
Right.
like
That's how I want my food hot. That's one good thing about when we went to Mastro's for our anniversary. That's one good thing about the food is that it was hot. Like the plate was hot, the food was like steaming hot. That's how I like my
every
food.
plate was hot when we went to Mastro's. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Stayed hot too.
Yes.
So that whole steak up.
Yeah. Exactly.
It
Exactly.
was warm because you right. When they came out, the first thing they even said that before. When
The
they
plate
bring the
is
food
hot.
out, they said the
Yeah.
plates are hot, so be very careful not to touch them in the beginning. And I was
Yeah.
like, shoot, I got that food. I was cutting
It
that
was-
steak. I was going to town on it.
You can still hear the food sizzling on the
Yeah,
plate.
dipping the steak in the mashed potatoes, the whole nine.
Yes,
I
it
did
was
throw it
good.
out when I'm at the restaurant.
Did you get the butter cake?
Yeah, we did get the butter
That
cake.
butter cake is good, ain't it? But you know what? I asked for my ice cream on the side because I don't like the ice cream to melt into the cake. Do
See,
you?
I do. Yeah.
It be soggy. Then your cake be all soggy. Put
That's
mine
if
on the
you wait for it to melt.
side. Dr. A, the cake is warm. It's gonna melt. What you mean if you wait?
But I'm saying like saturate inside of it. It just be a little smoothness on the top. That butter cake, that cake still be, warm. It was good. You
That
make me
cake,
want to go order it now.
that cake is slapping.
It's a killer though.
Oh
It's
yeah.
definitely a killer.
And let us move on.
The blackness.
Blackness. Keep on.
Hey,
Never say die. Keep on. Blackness. Keep on. Never say die. Keep
I
on.
love this song. Okay, so today we want to resume a series of Black History facts that we have talked about in the past. We talked about Black towns that have been basically buried underneath lakes in this country. And there's a whole list of them. We've gone through some of them. Today, we're going to highlight one in Ferguson, South Carolina, as our little known Black history fact. Now, let's review a little bit about these towns that have been buried underneath lakes. They're called drowning Black towns. So, drowning Black towns was another form of ethnic cleansing that used to take away that was used to take away Black generational wealth and make the area whiter. Drowned towns, as they were called, are towns and villages flooded by the creation of dams, destroyed by the advancing sea, or washed away in floods and never rebuilt. One such town is Ferguson, South Carolina, which was a majority Black town at one point. It contained Black homes, businesses, a church, a lumber mill, grocery stores, and a school. It was purposely flooded to create Lake Marion, the largest lake in South Carolina. It stretches nearly 110,000 acres of rolling farmlands, former marshes, and river valley landscape. Many people fish here and visit here, but are not aware that beneath it is the Black town of Ferguson, South Carolina, which is buried under Lake Ferguson. Ferguson, South Carolina, our little known Black history fact.
Okay.
And let us move on. And let us move on.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Okay, oh hell no. Trump is warning Colorado Supreme Court uh, to leave him on the ballot. Okay, little misspelling there. Forgot the E. But yes, to leave him on the ballot. What say you, partner?
This is outrageous. He's saying leave him on the ballot or else it's going to be chaos and bedlam.
Pandemonium.
This is absolutely outrageous. You know why? Because it's giving me January 6th vibes. Because this is the same thing he did back then, like inciting basically a riot. And that's kind of what he's doing here to me. He's like, it's like a dog whistle to his supporters that, okay, if they don't let me back on this ballot, y'all need to create chaos and bedlam. You need to get in the streets and you need to do whatever you need to do to protest. Similar to what he did on January 6th when during the insurrection on the Capitol, on the United States Capitol. So that's why I think this is, he done lost his mind. Like, you really trying to do this again? Like, yeah, this is crazy.
To me, this is the reason why this guy shouldn't be the president of the United States, because he's a dictator and he has the arrogance that he's better than everybody and he knows what's best for everybody. So do it my way or don't do it at all, or the system gets shut down. It takes a certain type of asshole arrogance to be that way. And then you have some people they were interviewing on on CNN, like when they're out with the people saying, would you rather have Trump as a dictator or Biden as president? They said Trump as a dictator, and some of them were justifying it's just like this country needs, some dictation. And I'm like, speak for yourself. Like
Yeah.
you need somebody to rule over you. Like you're not an adult. Like, things are going different. Like a lot of people say what they feel is enough. They bring up things that we shouldn't have these people or these group of people start their own agenda. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're just trying to be inclusive. And you want Trump to back that and you think he's doing good. And he's not. He's just causing chaos and disruption, which can lead to a civil battle. And
Absolutely.
that's not what we want. We don't
No, we
want civil war in this country. We're above that. And democracy is the only thing that is the most, I would say, usable system that we have. Because we're supposed to, one person, one vote. That's how it should be. I don't, this country never needs a dictator.
no. He wants to be Putin so bad. He wants to be like Putin and be president for life.
And let us move on.
Hey, hey.
Okay, so this week we're gonna give it up to Spelman University, particular Rhonda Stryker and William Johnston. They Johnson is the chairman of the wealth management fund Greenleaf Trust. And they donated $100 million to Spelman College, which is an all women's college in the HBCU in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the largest donation given to an HBCU in history. So, big round of applause. To Spelman College for receiving this amount of money, and I'm sure it will do wonders for them. What
Yes.
do you have to say?
I think this is awesome. I think it is great that this is a one-time donation that is the largest ever. And I think it's great that a Black couple has these kinds of resources that they can that they can write this check. I think it's all beautiful. It's great, and I think it's needed. It's necessary. I know we talked about how HBCUs are underfunded in some states, and so it is great that this is happening.
All righty. Did it again.
The remix.
Here we go. To wrap up the show. Okay, today we didn't have it today. That was one of the first times that we did so. So, our words of wisdom today was, God has always given me the strength to say what was right, but that's by Rosa Parks. What's going on today was HBCU administrator who killed herself, a death by suicide, appropriate way to say that. Ben Crump, who is calling for federal investigation for 215 people that were buried behind a jail in Jackson, Mississippi. Fani Willis claims special prosecutor's wife is trying to derail the Trump case, and a sperm donor wants to meet his biological kids. Little known history, Black history, was Ferguson, South Carolina, another missing Black town. And all hell no went to Donald Trump, warning Colorado Supreme Court to put him on the ballot. And we gave it up to Spelman College, who received $100 million in donation. With that being said, as always,
thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us. And as always, in parting, we wish you love, peace, and knowledge to feed your soul.
Knowledge to feed your soul. We will see y'all next week. Take care. All right.